Math class. Math class. All right, turn in your books, page 113. I've got the first part of page 113, and we're going to be talking about pictographs. A pictograph uses symbols or pictures to show a certain number of items. The key to a pictograph tells you how many items each symbol or picture represents. The key that they are talking about is this part on the bottom. One button. All right, sorry for that interruption. That wasn't planned music. That would be your music teacher calling me when I'm trying to make a video. Okay, the first button, or the button at the bottom that I circled in red, is the key. It says that one button symbol equals 1 million buttons. So when we look at the pictograph, we look at red, and it has 7 buttons. Well, that doesn't stand for 7 buttons. That stands for 7 million buttons. And the blue has 4 buttons, and that stands for 4 million buttons. 1 million for each button shown. So let's answer the questions here. Number one. Number one. How many red buttons were made this month? We just talked about that. Red buttons, there are 7 buttons, so that's actually 7 million red buttons. 7 million red buttons. And how many blue buttons? That would be 4 million blue buttons. Okay? Now we can compare using addition and subtraction. Go ahead and pause your video and solve number 2 and 3 using this information right now. Go. All right, so you see the answer now for number 2. We take the problem 7 million minus 4 million, and we get 3 million more buttons. 3 million more red buttons. Now let's look at number 3 together. Buttons are packaged in boxes of 100. How many boxes of buttons were produced? All right, well, if we have 7 million red buttons, 4 million blue buttons, and that's 11 million total buttons. 11 million total buttons. And we're boxing them in 100 per box. We have to divide that by 100. Well, how do I do that? I simply take the numbers and knock off 2 zeros. Now it's 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros, and the number 11. Put my new comma in. That's 110,000 boxes for the buttons. All right, let's move on to the next page. Or the same page, I'm sorry, and problems number 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, this graph, again, we'll point out the key at the bottom. The key is one wheel equals 100,000 vehicles. Okay, so for each wheel you see, that's equal to 100,000. The graph shows the number of vehicles that traveled on Highway 25 in 1 week. Question number 4 asked, how many vans traveled on the highway that week? Well, you look at the number of wheels on the vans, and that's 3, and we multiply that times 100,000, and we have 300,000 vans. Use the pictograph and solve number 5, 6, and 7. Begin now. All right, let's correct these now. Number 5, how many fewer motorcycles traveled on Highway 25 than cars? How many fewer motorcycles? Well, we can take the 5 cars and subtract the 5 wheels for the cars and subtract the 1. So 5 minus 1 is 4, and 4 wheels equals 400,000 fewer. Now see how we, instead of figuring out the math, we were able to subtract the pictograph numbers and then apply those to the key. making it easier. Rather than writing down 500,000 minus 100,000, we could think 5 minus 1 is 4, and 4 times 100,000 is 400,000. Number 6, predict the number of trucks that might travel on Highway 25 in 1 month. Predict the number of trucks that might travel on Highway 25 in 1 month. Well, how many do we have in 1 week? We have 2 wheels. Well, that's 1 week. There are 4 weeks in a month, so we could say that there would probably be 8 wheels for a month. And 8 times 100,000 is 800,000 trucks. Okay. One more question, number 7. Each truck driver pays $10 a week in tolls. How much toll money is collected from truck drivers in 1 week? Well, there are 2 wheels, meaning 200,000 trucks. $10 a week for each truck driver. So that would be 200,000 times 10. We simply add a 0. Write down 200,000 without our commas. Okay. We add 1 0 to multiply it by 10. Put our new commas. And that is $2 million would be collected from truck drivers in 1 week. That's a lot of money. I should collect money from truck drivers. All right, now we're going to turn the page to page 114. Okay, again, we have this graph has no key. The actual number of passengers at the Atlantic Airport in 1 year was 80,171.35. Now, so we are going to be figuring out the key. If the Atlanta actual number is 80,171,035 passengers, and there are 8 people for Atlanta, how much does each passenger stand for? One person on the pictograph stands for what? That would be 1 for every 10 million passengers. Okay? So then we could make our own graph if we wanted to down here at the bottom. Draw my little stick guy. Hey there. Hello. King Tut Arms. Yes. Equals 10 million passengers. Okay? Now we can figure out and answer questions about the rest. Go ahead and answer questions 9 and 10 now. Pause your video and finish. All right. There are your answers. Passengers at the Los Angeles airport are 65 million. There are 6 full people and half a person. That's about 65 million. And then the 61,607,185 passengers would be 6 people about, so that would be London. All right. I think we're ready. Now we're going to move on and get started on our homework. Today's homework will be homework and remembering 3-12. Get started and good luck. It's your homework. Do homework and remembering 3-12. That's right. Homework and remembering 3-12.